All right, we have just a couple more minutes before we're going to get started. We have quite a few attendees now, and if any of the attendees are part of an applicant team and you'd like to do a sound check, please raise your hand. If you are calling in and you'd like to test your sound, you may press *9 to raise your hand, and then we can go ahead and test your sound. Okay. So I have caller 9600. We'll go ahead and test the sound there. I'm not hearing anything. I can see your hand is raised. Let's see. Okay, let's try Steve McCullough. You should receive a prompt, and when you answer the prompt, you should be able to speak.
Yes, can you hear me?
You sure can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we have caller 7791. We have a caller ending in 7791.
Kimberly, can you hear me? Kimberly?
Yes, we can.
Kimberly? Okay, cool. All right.
Thank
Good
you.
to know. Thank you.
Good morning. I note that it's 10:30, and I'd like to start the zoning administrator meeting of August 20th. My name is Andy Gustafson, and this is a regular meeting of the zoning administrator. And today, I want to thank you, attendees and applicants who are attending this meeting. We are holding virtual meetings as a result of the governor's executive orders for social distancing during the COVID-19 crisis. And we will conduct this meeting in the same manner as if it were an in-person meeting, where we go through the agenda item, and that agenda is displayed on the screen now. And you do have that agenda is also available online at the zoning administrator website. You would have received links to that with your notice in your packet. So again, we will go through the hearing. The recording secretary will manage the participation or comments by the project planner and the project applicant and the public in attendance who wish to comment. When you wish to comment or participate, those of you who are attending on Zoom will need to select the hand icon on your screen, and you'll be recognized by the recording secretary. And when that does occur, you do need to unmute yourself. There's often a delay or a lag, but we'll get through that process. Those of you who are calling in by telephone and listening, you will also have opportunity to comment. To do so, you press *9 and you'll be recognized as well. In each of the items, I will first have the project planner give a presentation. The applicant will then be able to also add more information or comment further. And then after that, I will recognize and open the floor to attendees who from the public who wish to comment. Today, on each of these items, any action taken or any action taken today can be appealed until I guess the meeting would be a 10-day appeal period, and I always need to look at the calendar. I think it would be September, moment while I load it. Actually, it'll be Monday, the 31st will be the last day of appeal. And if you wish to appeal, please contact the project planner and they'll walk you through that process. So the 10-day appeal period concludes on end of the business day, August 31st. So next I'll turn to the agenda, and the first item, oh, no, I do have an announcement that item number 3.2, which was a public hearing for a minor conditional use permit and minor design review for a cell tower, a monopine wireless antenna at 2965 Dutton Avenue, has been continued at the applicant's request. That meeting is continued to September 3rd. So if any of you are in attendance now, please know there will be no information, presentation, or testimony taken on that matter. And please plan to attend the meeting on September 3rd. And I'll repeat that announcement again when we come to that item on the agenda. Okay, now back to the normal order of business. The first item is to allow any member of the public or anybody in attendance to comment on a matter that is not on the agenda. And if you wish to do so, please raise your hand or press *9 and you will have 3 minutes, again, on any matter that's not on the agenda. I'm looking at the list of attendees and I do not see anyone who wishes to comment at this point. So I will now move on to the agenda. First item, and if we can have Connor McKay do a presentation. This was a proposed minor conditional use permit and minor hillside development permit that was continued from the August 20th meeting. And there was going to be some more information provided regarding the slope mapping and the proposed location of that structure. Connor, can you update us as to where we are with that and give us an overview, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zoning Administrator. Can you hear me? Cool. Yeah, so this is a continuation of a project presented originally on August 6th. It's a new 2-car garage and workshop located at 2021 Park Vista Court. This is just a reminder of the project description. It's a conditional use permit and hillside development permit. Here's the project location located off of Summerfield Road on Park Vista Court. So this is the previous site location that was discussed at the August 6th meeting. The issues presented were there was not enough minimization to hillside impact, and the building was located in a location too prominent on the site, and there were not enough evidence to display that this was the only site plausible for this construction. So the updated site location is this slide here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not full screen here. There we go. Okay, so this is the updated site location. It's located further southwest on the property. And here, the other issue from the last meeting was that the plans indicated that the building height would exceed 16 feet from the natural grade. So these elevations show that that will not be the case. The top shows the distance from the natural grade, and as you can see, the structure will be below 16 feet. There's a east elevation there. And here's the slope analysis for the new site location. As you can see, it's much flatter compared to the previous location and would therefore require less impact to the existing hillside. This also would set back the garage from Park Vista Court and reduce visual impacts and reduce the prominence of the structure on the property. We have some correspondence we've received since the last meeting. I received a letter on the 18th from an attorney representing a neighbor. They were summarizing the reasons the item was continued on August 6th, citing building height, location, and prominence. I'm receiving continued email correspondence from a neighbor who has concerns about the impacts rain and earthquake events would have on hillside development in general, and impacts from streams relocated by Hugh Cotting. I looked into this. The nearest stream is located almost 700 feet to the southwest of the project site. So yeah, and with that, the Planning and Economic Development Department recommends that the ZA approve this resolution for CUP and minor hillside development permit for this project.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. I just have one quick question, and it gets to the issue raised regarding, I'll say, environmental hazards, earthquakes, slope stability. Can you comment how this project is reviewed by other departments and those issues are addressed by the conditions of approval for the building permit?
Yeah, so this is just the planning entitlement that allows the use and the development on the hillside, but the actual nuts and bolts of the construction happening in the building permit phase. And that's when building and potentially engineering departments will review and provide their expertise about the construction materials and methods that would reduce impacts from rain and earthquake events to the furthest extent possible.
Okay, thank you. And I have no other questions of you at this point. Now's the time for the applicant or the applicant's team to add more information or comment if they wish. Recording secretary, if you would recognize anyone from that group that might want to comment at this point.
We have caller 7791.
And may I ask Mr. McKay to put on the site plan that's showing the location of the building? There you go. Thank you.
So I do have a request to unmute for caller 7791. Doesn't look like we're unmuted.
Does the caller need to do something more than, do they need to press *9 again?
*9 is raising your hand. I'm not sure what unmute is within the Zoom application as far as a caller. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that information. And in the meantime, we have caller 5396. can go ahead, caller 5396.
From the instructions I have, it does not appear anything else needs to be done once the recording secretary has recognized the caller to be able to speak.
Hmm. And I have a prompt that says ask to unmute. Okay, 7791, can you go ahead and try?
Yeah, can you hear me, Kimberly? Hello?
We sure can. Yes, we can.
Okay. No further questions for me. Everything looks good on my end as far as everything that the architect drew up. Hopefully this will go through with everybody and everybody will be happy and I can move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we now able to recognize caller? Well, is caller 5396 part of the applicant team or member of the public wishing to comment?
Caller 5396, you might want to check to see if your phone is muted. We also have caller 9600. Hang on just a moment. Caller 9600, you should be unmuted. So I'm getting information that when you call in order to unmute, because the Zoom application does not allow the host to unmute you without your permission, you press *6 to go ahead and get your phone back unmuted. So any of our callers want to give that a try? Let's try 5396. You want to try *6 so we can hear you? How about caller 9600? So the only thing I can see from my end, I can send out a request to unmute, but unless a caller presses *9, we will not be able to hear them. I mean, no, I'm sorry, *6. *9 is to raise your hand and *6 is to unmute your phone within the Zoom application.
The applicant was able to participate using the phone. So I know this can be done. Hopefully we can get these other 3 callers connected soon.
I'm gonna check the chat bar I don't see anything in the chat.
Well, this is frustrating because I think these are members of the public, possibly the neighbor who commented last time and did participate in that meeting on the 6th, I believe it was. I'm going to suggest that before I will not close the public meeting or I will not close this item now, and we will continue to the next item. And then we will return to this item and act on it once we figure out how to get the phone-in callers the ability to comment. I asked our backup staff on this call to take a look at what we need to do to make sure that that can happen, and work with the recording secretary as we move on to the next item. So I think those of you in attendance, thank you for your patience. Applicant for this project, hang in there. We're going to return to you. But I think we need to move on to the next item, which is item number 3.3. Remember, item 3.2 has been continued to September 3rd. That is a minor conditional use permit and minor design review for 2965 Dutton Avenue, a proposal for a 65-foot tall monopine wireless antenna. That matter has been continued to September 3rd. So I'd now invite the project planner for item 3.3. It's a minor use permit at 29 Sebastopol Road, Santa Rosa. And it is for a new Boys and Girls Club in the Roseland area. Christine Tumans is a project planner. Christine, if you can give your presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Gustafson. This is Christine Tumian, Senior Planner. And this project is the Boys and Girls Club of Roseland. The photo you see is a simulation of what the building will look like once it's constructed. It's located at 929 Sebastopol Road. The applicant is proposing to construct a new two-story 24,464 square foot Boys and Girls Club. And their required entitlements are a minor use permit, which is what you're reviewing at this moment, and then major design review, which will happen this evening at the design review board. This is a neighborhood context map showing where the Boys and Girls Club is proposed. As you can see, it doesn't have direct frontage onto Sebastopol Road and has a shared access point to the east of Roseland Gas Mart, and that's how they gain access to the site. It's surrounded mostly by commercial type uses. Here's the site today, undeveloped, well, semi-developed. It was used for, I believe, bus training, bus driver training. You can see sort of a track there. And you can get a better view of that access point off of Sebastopol Road. Here's the general plan and zoning. It's got a little bit of retail, medium residential towards the southern end, and the majority of the parcel is medium residential. And it's also got some mixed zoning. So some CG towards the south, and the majority of the parcels are R318. Here's a site plan of the project. As you can see, the front of the building is expressed towards Sebastopol Road. It has sort of two prominent looking entrances, one facing Sebastopol Road and one facing their access point. They have a rear parking lot that can also double as a sports court. The majority of the participants of the Boys and Girls Club will be dropped off, or they will walk from the neighboring or the nearby school to use the facility. Here are the elevations that are proposed that the Design Review Board will evaluate this evening. And here is the landscaping. And here are some of the details, such as fencing, walls, landscape trellises. And the reason this is a minor use permit is it's a private meeting facility, and that's a use that requires a minor use permit. Staff is recommending approval of the project with the understanding that design review is required, and it will happen this evening with the Design Review Board. Staff is available for any questions you might have.
Yes, and thank you for that presentation. I think those slides really showed the character and quality of the site, or the development on that site. The resolution you put forward recommending approval references the relationship to the planned future Roseland Village project. And I think I'm just making that comment just to note that I think it's a very important relationship with, in terms of a use to that envisioned center to Roseland. So with that, I would now offer opportunity by the applicant and the team to comment, add more information, and maybe talk a little bit about how this ties together with the Roseland Village project. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Andy, I had a brief distraction. What is it that you need?
The applicant, I believe Jennifer Weiss, has raised her hand, and I believe she's a member of the applicant team that wishes to comment at this point.
Jennifer, you should have a prompt, and actually it looks like you're good to go.
Great. I hope everybody can hear me. My name is Jennifer Weiss. I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Sonoma Marin. I want to thank the folks at the city for being a part of us bringing more Boys and Girls Club services to the Roseland area. Our organization has been serving Roseland kids for 12 years, starting with 15 kids, and previous to the pandemic, serving about 1,000 kids a day in Roseland at 5 locations. And even with serving 1,000 kids a day, we've had 1,000 kids on the wait list. And we all know that's not acceptable for having the future have caring, productive, and responsible citizens for all of us. So every day at Boys and Girls Clubs, we help kids with their homework to move on academically, but more importantly, we help them become responsible citizens through sport, art, technology, and health programs. We have had our eye on this piece of property for a very long time, and I had the privilege of having lunch with Bill and Cindy Gallagher and asking them if they would be interested in being a part of this journey with me. And they said not only would they be interested, they would like to carry the torch. So they purchased this land for us, and they're doing all of the design and build for this project. So it's really a dream come true for the children in Roseland. I also want to thank all of Bill's team and Rich Kim's and his team for doing all of this work so far. It's pretty amazing for a nonprofit to be able to serve 10,000 kids across the county and have people step up at the $10 million level to do a project like this. With regard to Roseland Village, we've been engaged in that dialogue for about 8 years as well. It is our intention to build a second facility there, which will be a teen center and support all of the residents that will be moving into Roseland Village, both in the low income affordable housing as well as the mixed use housing, because we really believe in bringing all kids together, gives us a stronger community. I'd be happy to take any questions. Those are my comments. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Weiss. And yeah, it is an exciting addition to development to the area, and how it ties together with the future Roseland project, I think is going to be very additive. Is there any other member of the project team? I see that Mr. Steve McCullough wishes to comment at this point. Recording Secretary, if you could recognize Mr. McCullough.
He is currently not muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Steve McCullough with the Gallagher Companies, and I guess this is kind of threw me off there a little bit, because I was going to be introducing Jennifer to say a few words. So, but anyway, I did want to kind of point out our team that has been is together to do this entire project and bring it forward. And it obviously is Jennifer Weiss, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Sonoma Marin, Bill and Cindy Gallagher of the Gallagher Companies, Rich Coombs and Natalie Balfour of the Airport Business Park, or Business Center, excuse me, Will Gallagher of the Gallagher Companies, our architectural designers, Greg Wonke and Nate Murin of the Gallagher Companies, Paul Bartholow of Belgian Race Engineers, Jennifer Lamoli of the Gallagher Companies, Pete Wirtz of Land Design, and Mark Crane of the Crane Transportation Group. All of these people have come together to bring this project forward. It's we're real excited to get there. Planner Christine Tumians, his staff report is very thorough and well written. She's done a fine presentation of our project, so I don't think there's any need for me to show you the same exhibits again. We concur with Christine's recommendation of approval. Our project meets is consistent with the general plan and the zoning code and design guidelines. And we respectfully ask for your approval of our project as submitted, and we are available for any questions. You did mention the Roseland Village development, and we will be working closely with them as that comes forward to be developed. Our engineers are working with their engineers as far as working with the tying it in so that the access points all work smoothly together. So with that, I'll turn it back to you and see if you have any questions.
I don't. I think I agree, Ms. Tuman's presentation, and as well as supported by the application materials that have been submitted, provided a complete picture.
Mr. Gustafson, if I could provide just a little bit of clarity regarding your question. In the Exhibit A, there are several mentions of the Roseland Village from the engineering conditions. One, for example, condition number 10 states, it is the requirement of the design engineer for this project to coordinate with the Roseland Village project to ensure the ultimate design of the private street is consistent across the two plans. So our engineering department is fully aware of Roseland Village and how this project would need to coordinate with that. So I hope that answers your question.
It does, and I imagine that's going to be on the surface, circulation between that separates the two. And so having our engineering development services department condition it in that manner gives me confidence that this will be well integrated as it gets developed in the future with the Roseland Village project. So at this point, I have no further questions. I now welcome opportunity or offer the opportunity for the public in attendance who wish to comment on it to raise their hand to be recognized. Seeing none, I will close the public comment portion of this item and take action. One moment. So I think this is a great addition. Roseland Village project next door, the teen center that is planned there, as well as just the intention of Roseland Village to become reinforced as the center of the Roseland community. This is a kind of, I'll call it synergistic or complementary type land use development we hope to see with the kind of spark that the Roseland Village project was intended to create in the area. The physical configuration, the parking there, as well as its connectivity really was reinforced as being well thought out by the project plans that were submitted. And so with the conditions of approval based on the findings that were made by the planner in the resolution, as well as the CEQA determination that this is an exempt project as it's complementary or consistent with the applicable general plan and specific plan. I am very happy to approve the conditional use permit for this project and hope that this one can get developed and come out of the ground and be integrated in the community as soon as possible. So with that, this item has been acted on, and let's return to item 3.1 and see if we have figured out a way to allow call-in commenters on that item to participate in this meeting. So, Recording Secretary, can you report if we've been able to figure out how to let people calling in comment?
So I can see that 2 callers are still logged in, 5396 and 7791. If they'd like to go ahead and try *6 on their phone to unmute and see if we can get them unmuted. Otherwise, I would suggest, because I know that I was able to unmute at the very beginning of the meeting. And so the only other recommendation I would have is to discontinue the call back in so that we have a fresh restart on that. And then I'll be able to unmute the same way I did the first time. So it looks like 7791 is raising his hand. I'm going to go ahead and ask him to unmute.
By pressing *6.
Kimberly, are you there? Kimberly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Good. Who are we speaking with? Your name, please.
Mike Esternis, applicant for the 2021 Park Vista.
Okay. So you were able to comment earlier, correct?
Yeah, I was happy with the location and everything that Connor had to say.
Great. What we've continued here is the public comment portion of the meeting. So I would like to give opportunity for any member of the public who wishes to comment. Mr. Sterna, you demonstrated that the technology works. Hopefully other callers on this matter can can do the same as you. You press *6 to be able to be heard.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there's any other member of the public who's called in and wishes to comment at this point, please press first *9. And then once recognized, press *6. I know we've seen some numbers drop off the call, and I am concerned that they were the public, possibly the neighbor who initially commented on this project has left this meeting. Can I ask the caller with the number 7791 to raise their hand if they are? Oh, I see a new call coming in. Is 7791 on this call or this meeting for another matter? If so, briefly raise your hand to signal that you wish to talk about another matter or listening on another matter. Okay. All right. If you could lower your hand, please. So recording secretary, I think we have a new number, 3327, that's joined the call. Can you, can that caller please raise their hand if they wish to be recognized for item 3.1 concerning the hillside development permit and garage? Excellent. If recording secretary, you could allow that person to speak. And remember, press *6 to mute your phone, caller.
So I did ask to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Jeff Allen, I'm the neighbor to the east of the applicant. Just 3 quick points. I would ask that a condition be added to the approval, and that be that landscape screening be installed or developed to the east of the garage up to Park Vista Court, up to the street. I have spoken with the applicant in the past, and he suggested putting in some vineyards through there. But I think some kind of landscape screening needs to go in there so that we're not all looking at the side of a garage as we come down the cul-de-sac or coming down Park Vista Court. So that's one condition I would request, that the landscape screening be from the east side to the street. Number 2, I just want to confirm that this is going to be permitted for a 2-car garage only, not a 3 or 4-car garage. And then finally, I was wondering if there's any way that the new site can be where it's located, but can it be shifted a little bit so that the entrance of the garage is pointing towards applicant's house instead of towards my house? Those are the 3 points. Thank you very much, Mr. Administrator.
Thank you for your comments. And I'll address those after, if we have any other members of the public that wish to comment at this point. Please raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll close the public comment portion of this item. All right, so I'm going to ask Mr. McKay to respond first regarding the orientation of the building and its size compared to what was originally proposed, can that building be oriented in any other way than it is now, given the setback lines and the driveway improvement? And has the building changed in terms of size footprint?
Yeah. So I did explicitly ask about the orientation of the new location. I asked, is there any way we can get it oriented to the max position like possible towards the applicant's main dwelling? And this, as was expressed to me by the designer, was the most angled he could get it. To help with entrance grade is exactly what he said. But as you can see here on the site plan, the building envelope is pretty restricted. If he were to rotate it more, he would likely bring it up the hillside closer to the driveway in order to comply with that setback in the rear. So that was the discussion that was had about the orientation.
Thank you. What about the building size?
Oh, and the building size has not changed. It's still a 2-car garage.
Okay. And then, was there any consideration of landscaping here? Is there a reasonable relationship that can be made with this new accessory structure and its effect in the area, on the area, and the requirement for landscape screening?
Yeah, no. So I don't believe there currently exists any explicit condition about landscaping, but I do know the applicant has expressed interest in installing landscaping all along the eastern side and northeastern side of the structure. So I'm sure that the applicant would be open to including that as a condition of approval.
But as a condition, the request that we received was landscape, screening, so that while landscaping might be installed by the applicant, would it be of a type, structure, location that it would provide visual screening to the east side of that building? That would be the issue, and we could talk to the applicant about that. And that really is the remaining question that was asked by the neighbor. Is the applicant able to be recognized at this point and respond to that landscape question, and maybe possibly also talk further about the opportunities to orient the garage door to face more directly towards his house rather than the neighboring property?
We have caller 7791. Let's go ahead and unmute.
Kimberly, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Andy, I have no problem with landscaping around there. I don't think Jeff's ever gonna be happy with anything that's done with that. Sounds like he's just gonna fight it all the way through. So, I don't know what to tell you on that one. I can't change that garage opening towards my house anymore. As per, like he said, to get into the garage itself, the pitch is too much for the driveway entrance to the building. If I slide it up further up the hill, which he doesn't want, and angle it towards my house, which it was like before, then that's the only other way of getting in there. So it's one or the other.
Thank you. Yeah, I would anticipate the finished grade transition from the driveway to the garage door, or excuse me, the garage floor elevation is the trick in locating this structure. And in terms of landscaping, would you agree to landscaping that would be more than just simply ground cover, but something that might be along that eastern wall that would help to provide like a green wall or a green screen?
Right. I could put some cypress alongside of it to hide the side of the building. There's already a bunch of olive trees going up that side of the driveway that are partially covering that from street view anyway, and the olive trees are only gonna get bigger and bigger every year. So eventually they will cover it anyway as far as the olive trees that run down the side of the driveway. I was planning on putting a vineyard on the front section of that location. That should cover the rest of that section. But that would all be done when they're doing all the site work, so I can grade everything and do everything at one time. I will not be doing that first and then building a garage second.
Yeah, the timing of landscape improvements that you suggest is completely logical and reasonable. But it sounds like you would agree to a condition to have.
Yeah, of course, I
landscaping.
would make my house, the whole thing look as one big yard. So the front of the house, which is fully landscaped, would just continue on through the whole section of that. So there would be no transition as far as a different parcel look. It will just flow as far as all one piece of property with the same kind of look.
Thank you. Okay, so.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
We have some other personnel on the line, 7791. Oh, that's the applicant. If you can mute yourself now, please, I would appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McKay, I think if we can add a condition of approval to this resolution requiring landscape screening along the east side of the approved detached garage for the purpose of providing some visual screen of the structure from the east from Park Vista Court. I think this project will be well integrated into that site and be clearly associated with the single family residential dwelling unit that's located on the property. I'll add here further is that this accessory structure is a type of use that's allowed in the residential zoning districts, and in this particular case, a very unusual lot configuration would suggest this would be the only place where a two-car garage, detached garage, could be located, and also with the slope constraints on the property further reinforces its current location. I appreciate the applicant coming back with the expanded slope analysis, which allows us to make a determination that this is the location that would best avoid steep slopes on the property and fully supports the recommended approval of the hillside development permit in addition to the conditional use permit. So with that, I will approve both with the addition of that condition for landscape screening to the use permit. This matter may be appealed within 10 calendar days, or what do we say, August 31st, I believe it was, Monday. And it will be, contact the project planner if you have any intention to do so. Thank you very much for bearing with the technical difficulties that we had with this. I would like now to go on, resume our regular agenda, which now is the last item, which is item 3.4. Andrew Triple is a project planner on a requested conditional use permit at 112 Commercial Court, unit number 5, for a proposed auto detailing operation. Mr. Triple, if you could give your presentation, thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Gustafson. I am waiting for the previous project's screen to unshare so that I can share my screen.
Oh, sorry about that.
Great, and is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. So today's minor conditional use permit application is for Mendoza Auto Detailing. It's proposed at 112 Commercial Court, unit number 25. And the auto detailing operation would include waxing, interior, exterior, and full detail services in an existing 1,690 square foot commercial building comprised of 1,080 square feet of commercial warehouse space and 610 square feet of office space. The warehouse space includes one operational roll-up door and one bay, which would be used for the proposed use. Proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So 112 Commercial Court is located in Redwood Center between Highway 101 and Santa Rosa Avenue. The commercial condominium complex is accessible via Commercial Court. As we can see in the image fronting Santa Rosa Avenue, we have a Kentucky Fried Chicken and other commercial service use. Within the Redwood Center itself, we have a variety of uses ranging from a printer to other minor vehicle repair services to a linen service and such. So we don't have a typical, what I would describe as a light commercial use in that a majority of retail services types of uses. These are more heavier commercial uses, which would be allowed in the general commercial zoning district, which is the property zoning. And so as I indicated previously, a minor conditional use permit is required for the proposed use, which technically classifies as a vehicle services minor repair and maintenance use. As we turn to the site plan, we see here that Unit 25 is located as an end unit on the middle row of buildings. So it has excellent circulation throughout the site. We kind of have a sort of racetrack type of circulation going on. This would be an end unit, and it would have just one bay in it, which has the effect of limiting the potential for use, which would be a concern. We would be concerned about the intensity of the use. And so knowing that there's only one bay in this unit with no opportunity for expansion does naturally limit it. In this next image here, we can see the bay located at the end. We do have sort of a pedestrian entrance here on the north side of the unit. And then on the south side of the unit would be the bay with roll-up door, which would allow the vehicles to be brought in for auto detailing. There is ample parking throughout the site, and the unit does have 4 dedicated parking spaces. Looking more closely, we can see here that we have a reception area with some office locations, a restroom, and then we go into the actual, what is labeled warehouse, but would be the auto detailing bay. Planning has reviewed the project, as have other city divisions, and the project is conditioned as required. With that, Planning and Economic Development Department recommends that the zoning administrator by resolution approve a minor conditional use permit for an auto detailing operation for the property located at 112 Commercial Court, unit number 25. And the applicant is available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Triple. Appreciate your presentation, very thorough. And now, if the applicant wishes to comment, recording secretary, please recognize a raised hand. I see that Mr. Mendoza wishes to comment.
No comments. Andrew did a fantastic job. That's pretty much straightforward. The name of the company is Pure Lux Auto Detail. So we've been around for 5 years. So it's a great opportunity for us to, move to a location where we can actually, have, a better site than where we're at right now. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much. Is there any member of the public who wishes to comment? I see that most of our attendees have dropped off. So seeing none, I will close the public hearing on this matter. Mr. Mendoza, it's great to see that you're continuing your business here in Santa Rosa and moving to a site that you think will give you more opportunities. It's always good to hear. And I think the site, the zoning, the layout, the location within the community will accommodate it quite well. And there would be no adverse effects to the community or surrounding land uses. The resolution prepared by the project planner clearly documents the findings supporting the recommended approval of this project. So I'm very pleased to agree and approve this requested minor conditional use permit for the auto detailing operation at 112 Commercial Court, unit number 25. That is the last item on our agenda today. And I appreciate all of you attending who are remaining on this call. This concludes our meeting of the zoning administrator on August 20th at 11:28. Thank you very much.